Hello everyone, I'm Akash and welcome to the maiden video of our YouTube channel. As only 10 days are left for Mains 2022, we are here to discuss about essay, which is a deal maker in UPSC given the diverse scores from 60s to 160s. The very pivotal question to be asked in the beginning is why to hear from me? One reason could be that I scored 129 marks in Mains 2021, which was above average of top 50 candidates. Secondly, I've evaluated diverse essay copies on my channel, utterly amazing. The very first point I want to make is working on few common themes. Even though now philosophical essays are coming, still examples, facts and case studies collected under these themes could be used to substantiate the statements or quotes given in philosophical essays. So, the important themes in the era of philosophical essays are: first, primary education and health; second, technology; third, women; fourth, environment; fifth, economy; and sixth, motivation. This sixth theme becomes important because every philosophical topic boils down to motivation, where you can use quotes or the case studies about great people. Second point I want to make is that even if you have not written anything up till now, just pick up the pen, because you need to understand how you will formulate the arguments, which points to include, which points to exclude. All these things you will be able to understand and get a mastery when you write the initial essays. When you write some initial essays, you will not feel very comfortable with organizing the points, writing long arguments, etc. etc. So, when you write few initial essays, you will become more comfortable writing essay in the mains examination. Further, you should write 2 essays in 3 hours rather than writing just 1 essay, because you should be trained as per the examination conditions. Third, just before 2 or 3 days of the examination, do not try to write full essay. Just brainstorm over the possible topics which could come in exam. Try to hit on which topics you think are most relevant to come into this mains. So here I am giving you 9 simple suggestions to make yourself write a good essay. The very first suggestion is write introduction in rough first. Introduction is very important for hooking up the examiner to read your essay with caution and also excitement. So when you write essay, your introduction should be the best part. So when you write in rough first, you can improve upon your grammar, your sentence formulation. You can check how long your anecdote is going, because you cannot keep your introduction too long. So you can actually eliminate those sentences which are not very relevant to the introduction. Secondly, your introduction should be followed by a thesis statement. This is very important to highlight that you have understood the topic well and that you have connected your introduction also to the topic. Like here, I'm reading one example for you. So the topic was: ships do not sink because of water around them, ships sink because of water that gets into them. So I wrote the quote: the only journey is journey within. Maria Reich. Just like a ship, our life too may be surrounded by negativities all around, as ship is by water. But these negativities would impact only when they make a way into the internal conscious of an individual, just like ship sinks due to water that gets into it and not by water that surrounds it. Hence, Maria Reich eloquently remarked, journey within is the most pivotal in our journey as a human. So you see, I have written the quote. I have tried to explain then how this quote is relevant to our example by bringing Maria right in the end of my introduction also. Second suggestion is to use some fancy words and better vocab, because this is not a 10th class examination but an essay examination of CSE. So keep your language lucid but not very simple. For example, like writing done, rather you should use undertaken. Also, I'm giving you few more examples of what is considered as fancy words, like eloquently argued, progress with caution, land of sinking cultures, resurgence as gold sparrow. So using these fancy words will not show just your proficiency in language but your ability to convey better also with few words and a brighter and a huge idea. The third point I want to make is that your arguments in essay should not be like GS, where we can just throw points. Because in essay, we need a little more substantiation. But your arguments in essay should not be like thesis also, because thesis is research oriented. Here we will be quoting very technical case studies. So you have to remember when you are writing your essay that you have to be between thesis and between GS, and that is called your essay. That's why it is also recommended to not use very technical language of your optional. But if your optional is giving substantiation to the essay, you can use those points. So the fourth suggestion I want to give is molding same examples around the topic. So I will give you an example here. I have used this Raja Ram Mohan Roy example in both the essays I have wrote. So the first essay was your perception of me is a reflection of you. So here I have showed that Raja Mohan Roy stood against the Sati Pratha. This shows his awareness as a human being, as somebody who is aware of the human rights. And there was another topic. There are best practices to best practices. So, in this, you can argue that the Sati Pratha started because there was exploitation of widow after the death of the husband. Then the Sati emerged. But Raja Mohan Roy stood against it and brought a best practice of widow remarriage rather than Sati. Because now women could enjoy their rights as a widow also. So you can write same examples provided you are able to argue in favor of those. But remember, you do not have to forcefully put the examples in the topic. If they are getting organically fixated in the topics, then you should go ahead provided you argue for these topics well. The fourth suggestion is the argument substantiation continuity. So your essay should not lack like that you have put only examples or arguments in your essay, but both should be in substantial quantity. So your essay should progress like first you have to put an argument and then you have to substantiate that argument through examples and case studies. So here I am giving you an example. So the topic was the process of self-discovery has now been technologically outsourced. So this could be divided into two arguments. Very simple two arguments like why it is happening and how it is happening. So in why you can give maybe 5 6 arguments. I'm giving you two arguments. So the one could be that people have become busy in the capitalist production mode. So here you can substantiate through the theory of Karl Marx. You can also give the theory of Thomas. Then the second argument you can give that people are running after validation, and this could be supported to the example that people are not taking part in the festivities, in the physical festivities, but people are busy over the validation through likes over Facebook. So the next suggestion is to be innovative, not revolutionary, neither mundane. So you should try to show simple example through a revolutionary tinge. Let's take the example of Anna Hazare's transformation of Ralegaon Siddhigi. So here you have to add few fancy words to make this a revolutionary example, to make it a standout example. So these words could be subsidiarity, belief in community efforts, convergence of authorities. So when you add these words, this simple example of transformation of village becomes very important in not just the affairs of that village, but the affairs of governance of India as whole. Moreover, there are various things to become innovative in essay. Few of these are: you can use the questioning format in between paras. Secondly, you can use quotes in the paragraphs itself or between the paras as standalone quotes also. Thirdly, you should also put these quotes in boxes. You can also write these quotes in black pen, and you can also write introduction and conclusion in black pen. No? Also, you should use 1-2 books in your essay because that gives the examiner a view that you are a well-read person. For this, you can hands on our books review analytica, which is available in our channel, where we have provided the reviews of various books. Also, you can mention various scholars and theorists like Aristotle, Plato, Karl Marx, Mill, Rousseau, Amartya Sen, Aurobindo, Mahatma Gandhi, no, Radhe Krishnan. You can use all these scholars at various places in your essay. This gives substantiation to your essay and shows to the examiner that you are a well-read person, not just for UPSC but from the school days, that you were listening to the speeches given and all those things. You can use also S. J. Shankar, S. D. Muni for the foreign issues. No? So you can use all these scholars from your optional if you have optionals like political science, history, anthropology. Also, you have to mention very innovative conclusions. So you should use conclusions like fulfill grand vision of preamble, constitution, exploit demographic dividend to fullest, valuing each Indian realizing goal of equal India, cherishing ideals of equality, liberty, fraternity. These words should come in your conclusion. How to attempt is a very important part of the essay examination because you will be given 8 topics and you will be very confused which to attempt. Maybe you are writing one topic, you are cutting that, and then you are progressing on to the next. But don't do all these things. Very calmly select one topic from the first one and start brainstorming of that topic for maybe 15 to 20 minutes. Do not give less than 15 minutes on brainstorming and more than 25 minutes on brainstorming. So when you are brainstorming for the first topic for the 20 minutes, you should be able to choose the second topic, because when you have seen the second part, the B part of the essay exam, your mind would be going which one to choose the topic from the second part. So by the time you have completed the brainstorming of the first one, you should know that this topic you will choose from the second part of the examination. So when you are writing the topic 1, actually on your answer copy, you should be observant to the topic you have chosen for the second part also. So you should not give complete attention to that topic, but at the back of mind linkages will be happening, and if any point comes related to the second topic, go to the back side, the rough pages, and also write that point at that time itself, because otherwise you will forget those important points, and it happens that you forget those. So this is very important that you first choose the topic one, and by the time you are writing the topic one, you should also be able to choose the topic second from the second part of the exam. This is very important advice to be diverse in your essay. So for example, if you have written maybe an anecdote in the first topic, then you can write maybe a poem, maybe a quote as the introduction in the second essay. But if you are not able to get any quote or poem for the second essay, proceed forward with the anecdote only. That is not a very hard fast rule. Sometimes you can also mix your anecdote and this quote together, right? Like writing the quote first and then forming the context of the quote through one anecdote. Okay. The second point of being diverse is to break down your essay on various fronts. So we do not have just the pestle approach, which is famous in the UPSC circle, which of course has to be used because this is very important approach, and mainly the main part of the essay, which is like why, how. Out of these two, one is the main part of the essay. That main part of the essay has to be done through this pestle approach. Sometimes people are not able to locate the main part of the essay and they do the peripheral part of the essay through this pestle approach. So that is not good. You have to look for the main part of the essay and do that main part through this pestle approach. But you must remember that your essay should not look like that you are mentioning politically, historically one by one, but your essay should have arguments first, then the examples, and then it would have a flow, because flow has very much importance in essay more than your content do. So I have other parameters to break down the essay and make it diverse also. You can divide maybe in the actors, like individual actor, the societal, and the national and international. So in the societal, you can break down in the vulnerable section and the affluent section. In the vulnerable section, the SC, STs, OBCs, everyone would come, and in the affluent, you can also write the impact on the capitalists, the intelligentsia, and all these. Then you can also break down it in terms of impact. Impact could be negative, positive, indifference. So the last suggestion which I want to give, and the most important of all, is that the antithesis must form a very major part of your essay. So it should not be that major, like 3-4 pages, but if the question is on something like debate, then your antithesis could be 3-4 pages. Otherwise your antithesis should be 1 or 2 pages, but it should not be less than 1 page, because the ideal antithesis should be 1.5 pages. So the best way to find the antithesis is to put not in the topic. So the topic was your perception of me is the reflection of you. So when you put not here, so it becomes your perception of me is not reflection of you. Then you can give the antithesis, which I also have given in the exam, that there are various other things which form our perception and not just ourselves. You can bring the societal prerogatives here. You can bring that somebody is so busy in capitalist mode of production that he's not even able to give importance to his true self. So it may not be reflection of his, no. So you have to give these depth arguments in your essay, and actually these papers are read by the genuine or due professors. They value these original organic arguments more than some arguments which we have borrowed from maybe some topper and which are flowing from years to years. So this was the end of the video. I would suggest you to go through the predicted topics for essay examination 2022 on our channel. You can also write essays and send over the channel for peer review or evaluation by our team. You can join our channel, the link is given, and you can also subscribe to our channel if you liked our video. This was the maiden video. If we get time, we will form more videos on topics which you may suggest in the comment section below. Thank you. Bye.